Good evening, everybody. We are live for round 3 of season 3 here at Richmond tonight. I've got Corn in the booth here with me. We're going to have a little bit of fun as these guys do 200 laps tonight around Richmond. Kind of a cool one tonight, about 65 degrees. Should make for some decent racing. I expect these guys to be a little bit tight, probably a little bit different if you've raced the official series so far this week, being that it is an open set for everybody. Right now, it looks like we've got about 15 guys on the grid, so Damien, if you're going to make it in, now is the time to do it, buddy. But these guys got a little bit of time left to go here. We'll pull the tower up, but they should have just about 4 more minutes or so to go in qualifying.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting one today.
I think so, too.
Yeah. Track isn't extremely hot.
No.
It's actually kind of cool right now. I think what I'm seeing track temp is 65 degrees.
Yeah, but the humidity for some reason is at 100%. 17
that explains why I'm sneezing.
You're all good, Diesel?
Diesel forget.
Oh, Mark said he doesn't even have internet. That sucks. Damien's internet just came back on. Well, that kind of blows, guys. I was wondering why I wasn't seeing more names in the list, but it's making a little more sense now. Looks like Damien just joined up, so should have about 3 minutes of qualifying, maybe a little bit less. Oh, Mark said his internet just come back, so right now we've got about got 16 on the list. Minus Corn makes 15. So I take that back. We got 17 so far. So, and it looks like Spicer is going to start from the back. So this ought to make things a little interesting. Rob Collier, your pole sitter at a 23.23. Joe Sullivan in second with a 23.28. Justin Burns, 23.33. Scott Thompson with what looks like a 23.35. It looks like my thing's broke here, so we'll have to wait for that to catch up. Dennis Daly fifth with a 23.38. Derek Sivers 23.40 in sixth. Tyler Nichols with a 23.65. Gominator sitting eighth, 23.69. Gabriel Griffin ninth with a 23.87. And Rick Evans is going to round out your top 10 with a 23.91. Yeah, Brendan, we're surviving.
I just realized we've only got one McHaley in the field.
That's because Father Ball's on a cruise.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Father Ball, as far as I'm aware, unless he watches the stream tonight, last I talked to him, he was crushing Miami Vices on a boat deck. Do they need me to hear them? I know what he's talking about. We'll get to that. I'm hearing something from Derek Sivers in the chat. We'll cover that here in a little while. Somebody decided to play a funny joke. So
I'm not complaining. It's one of the best troll paint jobs I've seen in a very long time.
Would you call it gimmick adventure?
Oh God. King, the Atlanta rain race will be at I believe it's New Atlanta. No, I think it's Old Atlanta because of how the road course is set up. But it'll be GT3s in the rain at Atlanta. There's going to be some goofiness because we're going to have to use the road course a little bit. So it should be wild. What?
You really don't have to. As long as you have rain-enabled cars, you can do any track on that in rain.
From what I've been told, it's only going to work if we do the road course. Plus, with the road course, it should work if I'm correct. I gotta do some more testing with it. Maybe I'll do that after this, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'll join you for it.
Oh, I figured as much. So, Ron, we may not have qualifying if I can't get the oval to work. So it may just be practice, and then we're just going to line it up. And realistically, I think it's going to be a game of survival. So, all right, looks like we're going to start gridding these guys up.
Now, the thing that we're going to have to remember here about Richmond is, no matter what you have for your setup, this track is loose.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like you can tighten it as far as you can tighten it, and it's still going to be loose.
Yeah, it's do you set up for the long run or do you set up for the short run?
Right.
So there's your top 11, or actually, I'm sorry, top 12. So it's going to be Rob Collier in first, Joe Sullivan's going to start second, Damian Conrad with limited run time going to be third, Justin Burns fourth, Scott Thompson fifth, Dennis Daly sixth, Derek Sivers seventh, Tyler Nichols in eighth, Tom Gom 9th, Gabriel Griffin 10th, Rick Evans 11th, JD McHaley 12th. All right. Let's get that up on screen. We did wind up with 17 cars for this race, so. Who aren't any oil? All right, since we've got a minute to look at a few things. So I saw this during practice, and he did a pretty damn good job on it. So I've got to at least put it up here. Cale Spicer decided to make a knockoff of my paint scheme, which is pretty funny. So props to Cale for it. I actually think it's pretty well done. He's just missing the spec map that I usually have, but I do like it. It came out pretty well. So props to Cale on that one.
I'm half tempted to mess with these guys and give them an extra pace lap.
No, don't mess with them. Let's get this thing going. They got 200 laps. So one more time around the track, and then we should be able to get this thing moving. They're unlimited. I'm pretty sure they're unlimited. It's either that or 4. All right. Rob Collier with a good...
They have 4 sets of tires.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Now that I say that. Rob Collier's going to have a good jump. I see the Gominator back there. 3 wide, it looked like. Keep rolling. We're going to move back kind of to where Tom is here because we got a little bit more action going on. Tom Gom, everybody. When I grow up, I want to be just like Tyler Nichols. So, sitting back there in the 8th position. So, you know, if you want to be like Tyler, Tom, you better pick up the pace.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're all going to kind of fall in. Probably get rolling, see how this goes. Let's go jump in with Cale really quick.
Let's say, how fast does Cale move through the field, or does he just kind of bide his time?
I think he might bide his time a little bit. We're going to pull up the dashboard so you guys can see what kind of speeds he's hitting around here. Oh, and turn up with a spin. We're going to move this.
Damian's around on the backstretch too.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Sounds like turnup went around off the bumper of Tyler Nichols there.
I'm gonna roll that back because I
And-
missed it being on board with Cale.
And
Yeah,
Damien
it looks
just
like
lost it all on his own.
looked like Tyler just come up ever so slightly.
Damien caught the apron.
Yes, the Wanger car is here. See if I can't get that up on screen.
Somebody just blew their motor.
Tyler with his joke of a profile picture. Yeah, who's on pit road with a blown motor?
Damien hit the brakes on the backstretch and it just spun out on him.
That's weird.
Killed the car. Put it in the wall.
Did it blow the engine?
Oh, yeah.
You're kidding. 5 laps in and
No.
it blew the motor?
I mean, he says yes.
Oh, man. Well, that's fun. Makes for a real thrilling night, doesn't it? I don't think we're going to have any takers yet, really, for pit road. King, Richmond's still a good race. It's just, with the new car, I don't think it's that good of a race anymore. So,
Yeah.
hide that for just a little bit here. See if we can't see. Yeah, track temp still hanging at 66. Imagine there'll be one more to go here and hopefully get this green.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Just waiting to see if the lights on the pace car go off here.
Nope, they go. Yep, there they're out.
And they're out, so we're going to get going again. All right. Well, pace car should duck off here in a second. Typical 87 rules, so we're going to have lead lap cars to the outside. We're going to have lappers to the inside, but we don't get anybody lapped yet. So we'll go ahead and we're going to go off the gearbox. So Rob Collier here, he's going to get them started a little early. Start spreading these boys out. We're going to get going green. I see Tyler
3 wide
Nichols.
already.
I was going to say, I seen Tyler and Tom and
place.
Derek. 3 wide.
Oh,
It's tight.
that got
They're
sketchy.
gonna clear and go just fine. So holy moly. Yeah, that definitely looks sketchy. But hey, they kept they kept her
Those 3
clean.
know how to give you a heart. Those 3 know how to give you a heart attack.
Yeah, for sure. Next battle I see on track looks like between JD, Cale, and Gabriel right now. That's going to be your battle for 9th. I think right now, just, you know, it's early. If you can settle in, not really burn your tires up, try to save your tires for that long run, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, Cale just went past JD here. I think looks like JD's just kind of biding his time.
Yeah, and Cale's one of those guys. He's wicked fast on any short track. I've literally had this man lap me around here and make me look like a child. So yeah, JD, it looks like he's just kind of settling in. He's gonna let Gabriel go. It kind of looks like here. Maybe float to the back of the pack. We'll see.
It looks like he, might be trying to run a different line, see if he can't conserve tires a little better.
That could be. Or just kind of try to stay out of it. JD going 3 wide here with Gabriel in the middle. I think he's just trying to kind of stay away from things, but we'll back up to the front. Dennis Daly, your man on the move. He's around Joe Sullivan. Dennis worked pretty long on this setup last night. I know he worked on it some more today, and he was pretty happy with it when I talked to him. So we'll see if he can run Rob down. We'll get the gap up there on screen for you guys. 13 laps in the books. Say that again?
I said he's about a second back from Rob right now.
The question is Rob showing his cards yet? To
Right.
me, it's way too early in the race to even think about it. But, you know, I do see a lot of guys in Buicks here. More so than I would say, you know, the Chevy or the Pontiac even. I think it's actually about a 50-50 mix between the Chevy and the Buick. Gabriel and Tom, the only two guys in Pontiacs right now. So
Yeah, and I mean, it goes back to that, you know, that age-old conversation. You know, what car is better on what tracks? You know, iRacing will sit there and tell you all four of these cars run exactly the same on every track. There is no difference. But you get into a Buick on a super speedway and you get into a Pontiac on a super speedway and tell me you don't feel a difference.
Oh, you 100% do. Diesel wants to know who our picks are for the winner tonight. Who you got, Corn?
Honestly, I've got Dennis.
Yeah?
That I do. You know, he's better at short tracks than he thinks he is. And as long as he doesn't cook his stuff, stays out of trouble, I think we're going to see him leading some laps, and if not winning this race.
I think if it goes long haul, I think you might be right. I'm interested to see where Cale comes out on the end of this, if he's playing the long haul game or if Rob is. But I think it's going to be between Rob and Cale, depending on who's got the better setup. I've got on track that JD just crashed. I don't know what happened here. Oh, it just come around on him. He noses it in. No, it just nosed in, so we're still green. JD's going to bring it down pit.
JD down a lap, though.
Yep. He'll be the first car a lap down, I think. So, if we get some cautions, hopefully he can make that back. Biggest mover so far, I got Cale Spicer up to 7th place. Knocking on the Gominator's back door here in just a minute.
JD's going around again.
You just spun on him?
Yeah.
Or did it spin when he tried to pit?
I think he caught the apron a little bit there.
Still running green. JD on pit road. Cale closing in on the Gominator pretty quickly here. Go on board with Tom and see that from the gearbox. Or, well, back roof view. He's going to get the drive on Cale here, but Cale, I think, is going to dive it up the inside here in a minute on Tom. Again, 200 laps, anything can happen.
Oh, yeah.
And on board with Cale again. Looking off the nose of that Chevy. Just waiting to find the right spot to make his move. Looks like he's just going to bide his time for now, so. Rob Collier could.
What's that? Scott and Gary. So it sounded like there was a little bit of contact between Scott and Gary.
See, JD's left the pits, but Rob Collier continuing to lead here. Dennis Daly keeping him pretty honest at about a second and a half.
Ooh, Tom sideways. That's gonna
Oh,
bring out the
Tom's
car.
very sideways, and Turnip
Oh.
gets him just ever so slightly. Go back and check that. They barely made contact, but Tom's going to get rolling. Tom losing a lap here, so I think that'll make JD your lucky dog with Tom getting in the wreck and everything. Rob going to bring it down pit road. It's going to put Dennis to the front. Dennis Daly says, I survived Gomination. Also, I love the minion, Dennis. Yep, looks like Mr. McHaley is going to be the lucky dog recipient, so he'll get a lap back here. I'm sure he's loving to see that.
Yeah, he definitely needs it.
Right? Did he say he changed his mind?
Yes, yes, he did.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're going to have Gary Freeman in second with, looks like Turnip in third here once we get ready to restart. We got, what, 2 laps to go before we're green? Or yeah, we got an extra lap.
Yeah,
here.
lights are still out on the pace car here.
I'll step away here for just a second.
As long as you don't expect me to entertain the stream. I am terrible at it.
All right. The one thing that I totally forgot to shut off. There, now I don't have to actually hear my DRE in my ear the whole time. All right. So we're going to do at least one more around here while the pace car is out.
Lights are still out on the pace car, so we've got at least one more pace lap here before we do our one to green. Excuse me.
I still think the minion's funny. Dennis has a
absolutely.
little minion fire department guy, so still got to work out some of the race stuff because I get a grid behind the NASCAR tower and it's kind of driving me bonky.
We are one to green.
That we are. Dennis in the E4 Mafia brave little toaster car. Probably one of the funniest paint schemes I've seen in a minute. All right, so we've got the Gominator starting to the inside. He is a lap down, so we'll be trying to get his lap back. We're going to restart with Dennis Daly as your leader, Gary Freeman, Justin Burns, Rick Evans, Gabriel Griffin, your top 5, Joe Gooch, Cale Spicer, Rob Collier, Derek Sivers, Tyler Nichols, your top 10. Scott Thompson, Ron St. Louis, Eric Cap, Joe Sullivan, and Tom Bagam, your top 15. Here we go. Dennis off to a good start. And he's pulling away. We'll see how long that lasts. I think we got a good host of guys on fresh tires here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing maybe 5 or 6 cars that stayed out there.
Yeah, I
maybe
see.
5.
Looks like Rob, Derek, Cale. Ooh, they're touching back there by Derek. Derek and Gooch are getting into it just a little bit. Still rolling clean. They're going to roll the bottom. Keep going after it. Rob to the
Cale's
outside of Gabriel, but then he's going to go run.
Oh,
Wow, did you
all the
see
way
that
to the
move?
apron.
That was a move.
Oh, it's a shame it didn't
Holy,
stick.
I know. I thought he had it. Holy
He's got
cow.
it this time.
3 wide off of 2.
Still 3 wide.
Yeah, I was
Still
looking
3
at that.
Oh my gosh. 18's gonna avoid hitting the wall there.
Cale going to cut underneath him and get moving. So if you don't got fresh tires right now, you are going to the back if you didn't save it, looks like. Dennis Daly going to lead. Gominator getting his lap back right now. I'm sure Tom's up there just praying for a caution at this point. Dennis looking for a way around the Gominator maybe? Nope. He's just going to kind of ride.
Looks like Gary might be closing in on Dennis.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
Oh!
Looked like he slipped coming off.
There was a little bit of a checkup there coming out of the corner.
But back to Dennis so I can grab a few more of these guys in the view here. But wild racing so far. Daniel, just to answer your question, JD had a little mishap coming out of 2 earlier, so he's a couple laps down, but he's clean, he's rolling, everything's looking good. Rob Collier looking to go underneath a turnip here. They're going to drag race heading down into 1. Rob's going to seal the deal there and just dive off to the inside. Cale's still hanging somewhere around. Yeah.
Oh.
I got Scott crashed.
There's a car upside down.
It looks like Scott checked up. Joe tagged him. Oh, Joe went upside down as Gooch tried to miss it. We're going to roll that back.
Oh, man.
We're going to go off the nose of Joe Gooch here. Oh, he's trying to slow it down, and he just hip checks Sullivan.
Yeah.
That's rough. Gooch on pit road. I got JD on pit road. Probably getting some damage fixed, maybe. Joe Sullivan must have got uprighted. Missing the nose, but... Jeez.
Oh, JD put it in the wall trying to get past that.
Oh, he did?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
broke the right front tire on it.
Let's go back and take a look at that then. I did not know. I didn't even notice that he put it in the wall.
Yeah. It was a pretty hard hit.
Oh yeah, I can see it. See it laying on the right front there. Yeah, he checks up. Oh, he thought he was going to run over Eric.
Yeah.
That's okay. I see what happened now. Oh, tough break for JD right now.
Oh, yeah. It sucks, man, because he looked like he was putting together, even with being 3 laps down there, looked like he was going to put together a decent race.
Well, it's tough because JD, our Season 1 champ, and Damian, our Season 2 champ, completely out of it right now. So, unless we can get a few more cautions and get these guys back on lead laps, it's going to be a survival thing.
I mean, we know how races at Richmond go.
Oh, yeah.
As long as they stay in it, they could still end up with a top 10.
It's like the time that I had JD stay in it at Martinsville, and he finished, top 15?
Yeah.
So.
He was taken out on, like lap 3?
Yeah. No, it was lap 2.
Was it?
Lap 2, turn 2. he got nailed and drilled that inside wall, and I told him to stay in it. They put a new motor in, and they got him back out there, and he finished like top 15. So, yeah. King, to answer your question, I'm indifferent about Miami, to be quite honest. So, all right. Well, it looks like we should be getting ready to go back green after this lap. Lights on the pace car are out. We have Scott Thompson up the inside. And Joe Sullivan as well. Both a lap down. I know Joe's probably going to be looking for another caution here pretty quickly. Unless... I think Joe's just hanging back. His car's pretty beat up, so I can imagine why he doesn't want to be up there.
Yeah.
So, I completely respect that. And Dennis back underway with the lead. Gary Freeman second. Rob Collier trying to get around Gary pretty quickly here to go after Dennis. Dennis putting some traffic in between him and Rob.
Ooh, Rob got a little loose on exit there.
I'm not surprised. He's driving her pretty hard, but he's got fresher tires than Dennis does. So I can understand.
About, 20 laps.
Yeah, I can understand why he wants to. Cale Spicer getting underneath of Tyler Nichols, trying to get around and get moving and hopefully get up there with Rob and Dennis and fight for it. Ooh, Cale, big loose into the wall. He holds it up there. We stay green. That's really unlike Cale. Hopefully that doesn't...
Oh, Gary's sitting on the front.
Roll this back. See what happened to Gary here.
It looked like he just kind of got loose.
Yeah, he got into it just a little heavy. Oh. Clean spin, but well, the lawnmower went and did a little bit of lawn mowing, so. I got a few guys coming to pit lane. I got Cale Spicer on pit lane along with Ron St. Louis. Cale, I imagine, coming to get some of that damage fixed. Looks mainly just right front. Hopefully there's not some wheel damage or anything like that. So that early caution saving Cale a little bit there. Scott Thompson, your lucky dog. Next car a lap down is going to be Joe Sullivan. I imagine we'll see him pit. Oh, man, that right front. Joe, if you're watching, she's towed out pretty good, buddy. Somebody just blew an engine?
Yeah. I believe...
Yeah, Daniel, single car spin caused the caution there.
Gary, how's your motor?
That's weird. Somebody definitely blew up, but I don't see anybody smoking in the pits, so a little confusing.
I wonder if when Damien reconnected it, blew his motor.
I don't know. Unless it was JD. JD's the only other one sitting on pit road. Uh-oh. All right. Well, while we're under caution here, I got Spicer crashing? What?
Huh?
I don't know what
Spicer
this...
just brought it back. Spicer just brought it back down pit road to get some more damage fixed.
Oh, no, I see what it did. It thought he was crashing, and it's because he stopped on the track.
Gotcha.
So, sorry. Still working through the bugs with this software, so... no, I'm going to do a shameless sponsor plug. If anybody's looking for a new rig for Christmas, or you want your wife or your girlfriend or, whoever to get you a rig, Trak Racer's got their Black Friday sale on. If you're looking for the code, it's down in the description. Is my affiliate code with a link. They got some pretty good deals going on right now, guys, so I would highly suggest checking them out because they at least do help me pay the bills on some of the software and stuff for the channel. We got 1 to green here, so I'll give you your rundown of the top 10. We got Dennis Daly going to lead this thing off. Rob Collier second, Justin Burns third, Derek Sivers fourth, Tyler Nichols in fifth, Gabriel Griffin is going to be sixth, Rick Evans going to be seventh, Tom Gauman eighth, Gary Freeman in ninth, Ron St. Louis in 10th, and then we go back to Scott Thompson 11th, Eric Cap 12th, Cale Spicer in 13th, Joe Sullivan 14th, and I've got Joe Gooch, J.D. McKaylee, and Damian Conrad sitting on pit road. As the pace car gets a little bit of air coming off the track, Dennis going to take off, and we're back racing.
Oh,
and he
somebody missed the shift.
He gets a hell of a jump. Holy moly. Rob had to miss the
Rob
shift.
Popped it in neutral.
Oh, no. Turnip gonna try and dive it down underneath Rob. But man, Dennis was gifted a lot right there. I mean, he's got a solid lead now. As we look back at the rest of the crowd, he's got a 1.4 second gap over Rob. Again, Rob's on newer tires than Dennis, so we'll see if Rob runs him down pretty quickly here, if Dennis has been saving the way that he needs to. So, but let's get back to some action. Let's see where Cale's at. Well, he's got a little bit of right front damage still. Made quick work of most everybody behind him. Cale back into the wall off a 2 again. Looks like he's just kind of fighting that car like it's oddly tight coming off the corner. Kind of moving back up through the field here. Gominator's going to be sitting in 6th behind Tyler Nichols. Gabriel Griffin's in 13th, but he is a lap down. So
yeah, I think he had to serve a drive-through.
Okay, that makes sense as to why I'm seeing what I'm seeing. J.D. McKaylee back out on track. He's back fixed and rolling. About 20 laps down, so hopefully he can get some luck and get moving forward here. Leaders are going to be coming to him. Dennis Daly with a 1.2 second gap over Rob. Mr. Collier followed by Mr. Burns. We got Derek Sivers. Tyler Nichols rounding out your top 5. Gominator going to try and get inside the lap car of Gabriel Griffin here. Looks like Gabriel's kind of going to give him a wide opening, try to get by. And he's going to fight him for it. We got Cale Spicer getting around Rick Evans in his Stevens Motorsports inspired Spicer Motorsports paint scheme.
It's very weird to say.
It's actually kind of funny to say yes. Got Ron St. Louis back here in 12th.
We do have 2 cars out on the track that have not pitted at all. I'm sorry, we have 3. We've got Dennis Daly, Gary Freeman, and Rick Evans that have not pitted once.
I know these can go quite a ways on fuel. I think you can go to 150 before you've got a pit. So,
but can the tires go that long? That's the question.
That's the question. Joe Gooch
Dennis
back out on track.
Dennis is holding his own out there right now. So
I know he's at about 1 second right now. Gooch going to give the leaders the low line. Phase back in. Dig, unfortunately, with this car, you can only change the spoiler settings once the race starts. So that's going to be a big deal.
Spoiler and I believe tire changes or tire pressure changes are all you can do.
Come back here to Gary Freeman. Gominator's gotten around him. Spicer coming to him. And it doesn't look like Gary's doing too bad for a car that spun earlier. I think if he can keep the tires on it, he should be okay here. We're gonna move back here by Rick Evans. Fight between Scott Thompson, Eric Kapp, and Rick Evans. Eric underneath.
I'm being told that Damian Conrad's sitting on pit road with his phone on the dashboard watching the stream right now.
Oh, Eric getting loose in the corner. Does he save it?
Oh.
Car loose out of 4 on the bottom.
Hey, he's rolling.
Eric's rolling again. It looked like he kept it off the wall, so props to Eric. Leaders aren't far behind him, though, as Dennis Daly continues to lead. About 0.6 now. Rob pulling it in a little bit. He's about 2 seconds up on 3rd place, which is Mr. Burns, with, looks like Derek Sivers in tow a little bit further back. Looks like JD's hopefully just going to hang on for a little bit. Pray for some cautions to fall his way. Maybe he'll get a wave around or two here. See how my pick is going. Cale Spicer sitting about 8th right now. I'm sure he's probably waiting for a caution at this point. Man, he gets real close to that wall. Holy shit.
JD's going to go another lap down here.
Yeah, I see that. At this point, he's probably hoping for some good wrecks to where he can pick up some positions. So, Diesel, at least you picked up on it. I said, Mr. Burns. He said, excellent. Let's go on board here with Rob Collier driving that Skull Bandit machine, trying to run down the smoking toaster. I'm really disappointed that Dennis doesn't have the Vietnam toaster on the back of it, because it was way funny with that thing. Sitting about 0.35 back. Rob looked like just kind of biding his time, waiting for the opportune moment. And it looks like they're slowly reeling in Joe Sullivan to put him another lap down, possibly. So that's your battle for the lead. We're going to stay on this for a few laps, see what happens here. I'm surprised they've spread out as much as they have after the stacking on that restart.
I think that's helped aid that.
It probably has helped us on the caution front as well. Rob looking to the bottom of Dennis. See if he can get moving here. Looks like Dennis is going to kind of slide up the track, maybe try to save some more tire. They're dead heat coming down into 3. Rob going to clip that apron just a little bit, see if he can't get that car to rotate. Dennis continuing to lead and pulling away from Rob. And they're pulling away from Turnip. They're up 2.5 on Turnip almost.
And like I said earlier, Dennis is a lot better at a short track than he realizes.
I hate to say this, but it looks like 2 grocery getters in a dead heat drag race all the way around this place. Dennis into the wall off of 4 a little bit. That's going to let Rob get on by. We'll see if Dennis can counter here. On board the brave little toaster machine.
Dennis
He's
looking
gonna
low.
He's looking. Oh, I thought Rob was in the Skull Bandit. He's in the Timu Bandit machine.
You said a Timu?
Timu. Oh man. They're gonna go underneath the lap car. Joe Sullivan put Eric Cap a lap down here. Dennis has just got to clear him. Eric running a little bit higher there, letting Dennis take that bottom side. That's going to let Rob pull out about a half a second. Slide on back, see if we can't find any other battles here on the track. Tom and Gary still battling. They've been going at this for like 30 laps. Tom getting that early spin, and Gary spinning all on his own. They still are battling.
Well, I mean, Diesel's not here to, you know, battle with Gary all race. So Gary's got to find a new dancing partner out there.
That'd be a fun one to watch. Tom and Gary dancing together. Oh, looks like we've got Ron all by himself here.
And Damian Conrad has re-entered the racetrack. 69 laps down.
I see that. Still got no front end, and his trunk lid's flapping like a bird. So we'll see how that goes. But Rob Collier continuing to lead the way, about 0.6 over Dennis Daly. Dennis probably praying for a caution at this point, as we're just 25 laps under halfway. So these boys making good time tonight. Got Dennis in second. Burnsy sifting his way through the lap cars. He's fallen off to about 4 seconds back from the leader. We'll do this as we go through the pack here. I'll make sure I hit everybody that's in race. Got Derek Sivers back here in 4th position. Looks like he's kind of starting to pull Turnip in a little bit, maybe. Tyler Nichols in 5th. He says, fuck around and find out. All right, I get it. Tom Gom trying to catch up to his hero, Tyler Nichols, so he can be just like him. I got a crash out of JD again.
Yeah, it looks like he got into the wall.
Oh! He tried to avoid Cale, and because Cale twitched on entry. I'm going to roll that back again, but yeah, Cale kind of come in hot. I don't think JD was expecting him to be there, and looks like he broke the right front wheel off again. So, three-way battle, though, between Tom, Gary, and Cale.
Sounds like JD's day is done.
Oh, that sucks, JD. I'm sorry to hear that, bud. We got Cale trying to keep up with Gary right now. I don't know if Cale's just kind of biding his time, knowing that this thing's tight coming off a 2. That right front of that Chevy is just not happy right now. So we got Scott Thompson back here in 9th. Just kind of rolling. Ron St. Louis in 10th. Eric Cap a little bit back behind him in 11th. Gabriel Griffin all alone in 12th. Joe Sullivan in the Dale Earnhardt-inspired Ford in 13th. Rick Evans is in... Wait. I just had a shake-up here. So Joe's in 13th. Rick is in 14th. Got Joe Gooch in 15th. JD exited the race 16th. Damien's going to be some major laps down to JD. That's going to be 17th. So Rob Collier still leading the way. He's about 1.5 over Dennis Daly. Rick Evans, I think, is on fresh tires. I see him cutting through the field pretty quick.
Yeah, he's 4 laps on his tires.
Looking. We're gonna go last lap. Rick doing a 24.12 to leader's 24.57. So yeah, Rick's on fresher tires. You could definitely tell these lap times have fallen off though. If we go best lap, which was in the 23s and 24s, and now these guys have fallen off to 24s and 25s. Dennis putting in a 25.04 that last time around.
That's gonna be put a lap down here.
Yep. So he's going to be praying for another caution to get a lucky dog. Oh, we've got the wife in the chat. Who says that AJ's? Wait, tell me it was Damien's. Nope. It had to be Ron's. Yeah, Ron's bio says that I fear Robin. Oh, that's funny. All right. Dennis falling back to about 2 seconds right now.
He's still maintaining that gap over Turnip, so.
Turnip's kind of fallen off even further. He's about 7 back from the leader. So we got Turnip in the Wanger car. Looking to see if we got some battles on the track right now. Tom and Gary still going at it. Actually, they've gotten around Tyler. Tom Gum, everybody. The man that says when he grows up he wants to be Tyler Nichols. But we've got like a 4-way battle for 5th place right now. Cale going to send it under Tyler here. He's going to clear Tyler, take off after Gary, hopefully. He's kind of keeping a steady pace, it looks like. Let's go look at last lap. Cale with a 25.09, so it doesn't look like he's fallen off terribly. I don't think that right front damage is hurting him too much. Mark, you're funny, man. Let's take a look. Where am I at here? I'll go here and see how this looks out Tom's rear view mirror for a minute. He's definitely got the lawnmower breathing down his neck. Go on board with Tom. Ooh, getting a little loose there as we switch to the in-car. This is one of those tracks that you've got to have the gear to pull the corner, but late in a run, it's almost too much gear. It gets kind of sketchy. So all right, back up to your leader, Rob Collier. He's pulled out to about almost just shy of 3 seconds. I think Dennis just kind of riding right now. He's not really falling off to burn, so this would be a good, solid run. 2 podiums in a row if he can keep it. We're not quite halfway yet, so I think Gary loves using the John Deere green. Yeah. I'm just amazed that we've gone, I don't know, at this point 60 laps caution free. Or close to it. I do find it funny. The chat is pointing out that Gary the lawnmower, the man that loves to run a John Deere scheme, has a international red. Whoa, that looked crazy. Gary went high, Cale went low, and I thought they were both going to crash into each other for a second. Gary going to fight Cale back, though. Man, it looks like Cale's going to get around the bottom and take off. I do believe that the 18 car behind Gary's on fresher tires, so it's going to be one of them things. Oh! They got into each other, but they're still rolling. That was close. So now we've got Cale looking to go after Tom here. So if we go, we'll show the lap times on point here. Tom's gonna be looks like a little bit slower than Derek this time around. Put last times up so we can see. Yeah, Tom a little bit slower, and looks like Cale's just biding his time. He's gonna come to the inside on Cale, or Cale gets the inside on Tom, gives him a little bump out of the corner. Tom hanging on still. Tom and Cale running almost identical lap times that last lap. Cale going to maybe try and set him up down the backstretch. Gary closing back in on Cale. Tom pretty close to Derek's lap time that last lap around. Back to the gap here. Tom's got to pull in almost 10 seconds. Cale getting real loose down the backstretch. Holy cow. He's pulling in Tom and leaving. Yeah, it looks like he went a little bit slower that time than the guys around him. It looks like Dennis is pulling in Rob Collier. He's got him down to 2 seconds. Rob getting stuck, it looks like, in some lap traffic, so that might work out for him. Rob Collier going to continue to lead here. He's going to sneak to the inside on Mr. Nichols. See if he can't put some distance between him and Dennis and pull back out here. Looks like the 18 maybe overdriving the entry to 3 and 4 a little bit. So at this point, Rob's lapped all the way up to 8th. Looks like he's got the battle of Cale, Tom, and Gary in front of him. Oh, Gary and Cale Dorr coming into 3. They're going to keep rolling.
Dennis is bringing it down pit road here.
I was going to say he's got to be pretty close, so he's going to be doing a green flag stop. But I think at this point, if he pits here, he's been balanced, so hopefully he can make it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Looks like I see Burnsy on pit road as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see Gary follow suit very soon. That's going to put Derek Sivers up into the 2 position with with Tom Gom in 3rd, Cale Spicer 4th. So Cale up 10 positions since the start of this race. But they do have Rob right behind them to put him a lap down shortly. So at this point, they got to find some speed, I'm thinking. Cale trying to find any way to get around Tom, just so he doesn't go a lap down here. Gonna dive it underneath. He touches Tom ever so slightly. Tom catches it. They door. Cale goes by.
Man.
Tom goes into the grass. He's gonna keep it clean. Rob's going to pull up behind Gary and Cale now. I think Rob just bided his time. There he goes right on around Geary. I was surprised that Tom didn't hit the inside wall there, because it looked like he was headed for it. Rob's going to go around the inside of Cale here.
We're top 2, top 3 on the lead lap.
Yep. I mean, if Rob's got a solid set, I don't know. Do his tires hold out before Dennis really gets going and gets around him? I mean, Dennis is a lap down right now. Let's check out last times. Dennis was a 23.7 to Rob's 25.18. Where do we have Dennis on track? Dennis behind Derek. So he theoretically could run through the front as Rob is in 3 and 4 right now. So they're about half a track away from each other. So Dennis about a lap and a half down. We got Turnip, looks like unlapping himself possibly. Nope, Turnip just getting 1 lap back currently. So we'll have to watch the last lap times and see how this plays out. Derek Sivers sitting in second, the master of saving tires from what I've seen. So I think if Derek keeps rolling, doesn't have to pit from here on out, I think he'll be okay. I see Dennis coming into frame behind him, so I imagine Dennis is gonna get to him and probably get right around him very shortly. Yep, he's gonna let him go. Dennis to the inside on Derek. We got Cale coming out of 2, it looks like, so he's about half a track behind Derek in second. I bet a lot of these guys love a caution. Gary Freeman going to hold down 4th position.
And he still hasn't pitted. He's the only one that has not pitted.
He's got to pit soon. I think by 150 he has to. So,
yeah.
Tom Gom's still rolling, sitting in 5th. He's about a little less than half the track behind Gary. Running just a touch slower. Dennis Daly going to dive to the inside of the Gominator here, pick up another position. Obviously on those fresher tires. So, man, Dennis looks like a rocket through the field right now. Holy cow. Yeah, Dennis up to 5th. So, as long as he can take care of them tires, not overdrive it, he should be all right. Let's see Derek coming through traffic here. He's going to get around the 18. So, second place, just trying to cut through lap traffic as best he can here. Rob Collier's going to continue to lead. Looks like he's stepped up the pace since Dennis came out. He's about 3/10 slower than Dennis, so we'll have to see where this plays out, if Rob's got the setup to go the distance or what's going to happen here. Cale Spicer down in 3 and 4. Sitting in 3rd position. Gary Freeman still hounding him. So definitely a good run for the lawnmower, that's for sure. Dennis Daly still the man on the move with a 24.5. Although Justin Burns with a 24.4 that last time around. So next position for Dennis is just heading off into 1 and 2. And that's going to be Gary Freeman sitting in 4th. He is outrunning those guys by about 0.8 of a second. So I expect him to close in the next few laps here. Rob Collier, your leader. God, I'm starting to wonder when the last time we had a caution was. Holy cow.
It was lap 58, I believe.
Uh,
Although that might be when we have gone back green.
I think that's when we went back green, so it would have been 4 laps before that.
4 or 5, something like that, yeah.
So, but yeah, Rob and Derek, the only two still on the lead lap.
And Derek's not doing too bad.
No.
Comparatively. And he's actually running faster than Rob.
Why do I have a yellow? Did Rob crash? I have the leader crashing.
Yeah, the leader crashed there.
Oh! It looked like he checked up and Ron hit him. Looked like he got tagged in the back. We're gonna roll this back. I want to look at it from a different angle here.
It's almost like Rob was slowing down to go into pits there.
That's kind of what I was wondering. We're gonna go gearbox or nose on this. I'm gonna roll this back just a little bit. Yeah, it looked like he was maybe trying to turn into pit. I'm not really sure. We'll go back live.
He was 95 laps on those tires, so it could have been.
Yeah, so Derek Siver's going to be your leader. He's on pit road with Rob Collier right behind him. A lot of these guys are going to get a lap back here, so I think Corn's going to be busy for a minute while he lets some people go. Yeah, I'm not sure if Rob was trying to pit, and that's what was going on, but I think Cale's going to pick up the lead position here. Yeah,
everybody's going in.
I got Cale in the lead right now. Yeah, because Cale's on pit road, but it looks like Derek. Okay, so yeah, you've got looks like 3 cars in front. I've got Dennis, Tyler, Turnip, and Eric Cap in front of Derek. So, if you've got all of those, so we'll go on with Dennis off the nose so we can tell what's going on as far as where we're at in the caution laps. And we're at least going to have one more to go. Ron, it happens, man. I didn't realize he was pitting either, and all of a sudden I see him check up, and it is what it is. So it looked like he didn't get too much damage or anything, so looks like they're going to get their... Dennis already went around.
Yep, I'm giving them all wave arounds now.
Oh, we're working on it now. So that way they got time to catch up. So, all right. Well, that'll put Dennis Daly, Justin Burns, Eric Cap.
And that'll put Derek into the lead.
Yeah, Derek's your leader. We're going to have a couple of lap cars to the inside here. Lap cars will be the inside, Corn.
Yeah.
So we got a big group on the inside. Cale's still on pit road, and they're about to go green. Not sure. Cale's rolling already. Derek Siver's going to be your leader. Ooh, leader gets a little loose coming through 1 and 2. Cold tires. Oh, Gary's all the way down on the yellow. I'm going to move to
man.
3 wide coming into 2. Tom gets spun. Tom's pointing backwards. Go back and take a look at that. I don't think he anticipated Cale. What was that neck code? It looked like Tom popped off the side of Cale.
Yeah, it was some net code. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to destroy his car.
Yeah, it just popped.
I don't know if it actually destroyed it, but
no, it just sent him for a spin. But that's a wild one. So, a couple other guys that got their laps back probably going to pit here. Not a bad call, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Well, we had
Thompson's to be your lucky dog.
Yep, we had to figure it was going to bring some things a little bit tighter, make the race a little bit closer. So, all right. Yep, a couple guys on pit road. So we've got the top 6 unlapped. Derek Siver's going to be your leader. Burnsy's on pit road this time. This will be some shuffling here. All right, I'm going to step away for 2 seconds here, guys, and we'll let these guys pace for just a second. All right. Well, Dig, the maximum overdrive is Joe Gooch that's going to start on the inside there. So, Daniel, to answer your question, this league does not have an iRating cap. The one thing that I will tell you is you're going to get everybody from one of the best I've ever seen in an 87, all the way down to what I would call, you know, the average racer. And I've seen a lot of guys improve because of this league. Yeah, once you get in and see what the fast guys are doing and get a chance to race them, you see that level come up. So.
Why is it putting me on the outside?
All right.
Got them lining up all weird here.
It's probably because of the way the caution came out. They didn't make it back to the green.
Yeah.
So, but Derek Siver's going to be your leader. He's going to get the jump on everybody. See if he can't walk away from these guys. Put Rob Collier behind him. Rob Collier, your second place driver. He's got some lappers to make it through. Just got to be smart here for a little bit and see if he can't keep it clean. He's going to go inside of Rick Evans. And there's the Chrome Toaster following him up. So you got you got 2 and 3 right here in the midst of some lap cars. We got to get around Gooch, and then he can set his sights for Derek Sivers, who continues to lead. Daniel, I run it pretty much just like officials for the most part. Think of it as like the way the WNIS is, but we run a few more traditional tracks, things of that nature. But it's half distance races to the way it was in 1987. Ooh. I got Tom Gom crashed again. Oh no! He didn't check up enough. Oh! And then Scott slams him in the side.
I couldn't hear. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Ron just checked up to make the corner or what. I'll go back live here. All right, that's going to stack everybody back up again. Who's going to be our lucky dog this time? Probably Cale, it looks like. Diesel, it's short track racing at its finest. All right.
I'm not really sure what happened with Ron there. Middle of the front stretch, he just kind of, I don't know if he comes off the gas or if he had gotten loose on exit and it just took a while to really affect him.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. Because it's not like Ron to just check up 9 miles early.
Yeah. No, not at all.
So Cale Spicer going to be your lucky dog here. I imagine he'll bring it back down and see if he can't get some damage fixed before this thing goes back green. Yep, I got a few of them peeling off down pit road. Looks like we got Damian, Joe, Ron, and Cale all pitting. I remember Damian in that earlier wreck. He's finally got a front end back on that thing. Check out Joe Sullivan. Hey, looks like he could use a nose job on it. That Ford Thunderbird's probably seen some better days. And we got Mr. Spicer midway down pit road there.
Oh, Ron has left the race, apparently.
I just saw him on track.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I thought I saw him go down pit road. It shows him still on pit road.
No, he says he's disconnected.
Ron, you were doing good, man. Jump back in that car. It happens, bud. You were actually running a really good race.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, that's short track racing. Should be 1 to go by the time the pace car rolls out of 4 here.
We're going to find out. It's a shame I don't have a countdown on my screen as race control.
I really wish that was a thing. I don't even have a countdown. Maybe that's something I should look into, see if I can get something like that for this overlay. So, but they're going to go ahead and line up. I think this time we've got everything. Who's junked?
Joe Sullivan.
Oh yeah, that front end's pretty beat up. I commend him for asking for the EOL. So
yeah.
All right, Derek Sivers going to lead this thing to the line. They're off. Rob Collier in tow, and that chrome toaster's just sitting off the edge of the monitor there. So we'll see what happens. Oh, Gooch is going to catch the apron just a little bit. We're going to roll green. Oh, Joe Gooch sideways in the middle of the pack. Ah, I got to get it. We're going to roll back on that. Hell of a save by Gooch, though. What was the yellow flag for?
Because Gary got sideways? What?
They threw a caution for that, but they didn't throw a caution...
For JD being stopped on the bottom.
What?
That's ridiculous.
I
That's
hate
twice
this.
they've thrown a caution for something like that.
I hate this damn system sometimes.
Yeah. And if it weren't for guys having damaged, I'd be speeding this caution up.
Yeah, at this point, it's kind of let guys fix things and stuff of that nature. It's kind of mind baffling to me.
That doesn't make any sense as to why that, like, he wasn't even around. He was sideways, like, somewhat.
And look at the previous corner. We had Gooch completely sideways in the middle of the pack and didn't throw a caution.
Yeah.
Tyler Nichols going to be your lucky dog this time around. Daniel, we have not run Darlington yet. I actually think that might be the next one. No, we don't go to Darlington yet. I think we go to maybe Atlanta next. Tell him you're a people person. I relay the people's info to the engineers. All right. So let's get the top 5 knocked out of this thing. We got Derek Sivers, your leader, Rob Collier second, Dennis Daly in third, Justin Burns fourth, Eric Cap fifth. Going back to your top 10, Tyler Nichols 6th, Cale Spicer 7th, Gary Freeman is 8th, Tom Gom is 9th, Joe Sullivan 10th. And we got Rick Evans in 11th, Scott Thompson 12th, Ron St. Louis 13th, Gabriel Griffin 14th, Joe Gooch 15th, Damian Conrad 16th, JD McKaylee is in 17th. Daniel, I'm glad you like Darlington. I cannot stand it. I really can't. Doesn't matter what I do there. Oh my God, I can never get a setup that works worth their shit there.
I've gotten it somewhat figured out.
Right.
In trucks and the cup car, but that's about it.
Trucks is the only thing I haven't figured out in, because you can clip the apron and let it kind of side drift, and you can get it to stick about the time you're in the middle of 3 and 4. Oh, Diesel, you're in for a treat, my friend. My hope is to be back in the car for next season, though, because I do miss being out there with these guys. It's a hell of a lot of fun. But I wanted to get this thing broadcasted so that way people could start watching it. I'm looking at a couple of different broadcasters. I was trying to get my friend Jason over at Signature Esports, but he's busy through June at least, so I think we're going to have to maybe go a different route. But see if we can't get a broadcast team for you guys so I can stay in the car and go racing and have some fun. So, but 7 cars on the lead lap. We're going to go green here in just a second. Pace car should be about ready to duck on off. And pace truck goes to the bottom, getting a little air. Derek Siver stacks him up a little bit this time instead of just jumping right out in front. I see 3 wide back there by Cale coming down into 1. They're going to get back down to 2. Keep this thing rolling. Rob going to look to the underside of Derek, and it's a drag race off of 4.
Yeah, Derek's going to lead that one.
Yep.
Rob to the lead.
Rick and Dennis getting awfully close to each other. I see Cale trying to cut through the field here. He's going to cut up. He's up behind Gary now. I think Gary's sitting a lap down in 8th. So next caution, if he hangs on to where he's at without getting in a wreck, he'll be your next lucky dog. Go back to the front. Rob going to pull away from Derek a little bit. I also see Dennis looking for his way around Derek to try to go after Rob. So Dennis a little bit slower than Rob that time around. I know he's on, I think, fresher tires than Rob is at this point. Oh, I see. Tyler having a little bit of a spin. He gets her just stopped just in time. They're going to stay green. Everybody kind of settling back in again. So we got Derek in 3rd. Burnsy's in 4th. We've got Gary in the lap position in 8th. Cale is going to be there in 5th. Eric Cap is in 6th. And I think we got Tyler Nichols, your last car on the lead lap, sitting back there in 7th. Like I said, Gary's there in 8th. Tom's in 9th, not far behind Gary. Ooh, Tom getting a little loose on entry. Joe Sullivan's sitting in 10th. We got Rick Evans in 11th. Scott Thompson 12th. Gabriel Griffin 13th. And that's our cars on track. Oh, wait, sorry. We got Gooch in 15th. Damien in 16th. And that's all of our cars on track currently. Go on board with Mr. Daly here, if I can get the right camera. You can see, trying to put enough wheel in it, but not burn up the tires. What's going on, Patrick? Welcome to the broadcast. Man, you can see Rob, in this angle, you can see Rob get loose coming off the corner just a little bit. He just kind of walks it just ever so slightly. It's almost like he hits like a lockout point once it starts sliding. Ooh, yeah, Rob is really pushing it. Dennis staying a little bit smoother. He was actually faster than Rob that last time around. Go back out here. Move back to see if we've got anything going on. Cale Spicer sitting there in 5th. Going to try and get his way around the lawnmower on the outside. Gary going to hold his own against Cale. Cale touching the wall ever so slightly there. See Derek and Burnsy. Oh, I got Gooch crashed coming out of 2. Gooch is wrecked out of 2. And it looks like he just kind of checked up and... Oh, man, that's scary. Didn't get into the wall too bad, though, so... But yellow flag is out. Go down to pit lane. See who comes down pit road this time. We got the whole gang coming.
Burnup stayed out.
Yeah, I was going to say, Burnsy stayed out. That's an interesting call.
And Gary's going to be your lucky dog here. Going to get that thing back on the lead lap.
Yep. And if some of these guys stay out, that'll, I think, give some guys, well, like I said, with Turnip staying out, that kind of negates
Takes
anybody
away
else.
labor rounds, yeah.
Yeah, so if Turnip pits this time, I'm sure some of these guys will stay out. But if Turnip doesn't, I gotta imagine they'll be headed for pit road here. Yeah, look like the
He's staying out.
Yeah, man, that's a gutsy call. That's
Yeah,
a
it
gutsy
is.
call. Unless he's trying to save a set of tires. I guess it depends on how many sets he's got left. So Cale actually going to be up to second on this next restart out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. So Cale up 12 positions. Gary's going to be up 10 positions, but he's going to have to float to the back anyways because he was your lucky dog. Or at least I would have thought he's got to float back, but I could be wrong. So what's that?
We're still doing some pacing here, so
Yeah. We've only got about 40 laps left to go, so good time tonight. I mean, we haven't really seen a big one yet.
unless you count Joe Sullivan on his roof.
At this point, that's the only big one we got. So, yep, there goes Gary drifting to the back. So Dennis is going, well, you got Rob's going to be in third. Dennis is going to be in fourth. Derek in fifth. Tyler Nichols, 6th. Eric Cap, 7th. Gary Freeman in 8th. The Gominator bringing it around. He's going to be 9th. Joe Sullivan, 10th. He still don't have a nose on the front of that car, which is kind of shocking at this point. Rick Evans going to restart 11th. Scott Thompson, 12th. Gabriel Griffin, 13th. Joe Gooch on pit road in 15th. Damian Conrad, 16th. And that is our cars on track. So, Turnip gonna kick this thing off. We're gonna go green here in just a second. Get this out of the way. We'll go to the ticker for a little bit here. That guy for just a little bit. Alrighty, Turnip with a heck of a jump right here. Spicer and Collier in tow. And this is definitely going to shake some things up.
Mm-hmm.
Lap car is going to hold the bottom. Everybody else to the outside. Dennis into the wall a little bit. I see the Gominator on the move to the bottom.
Ooh. Dennis diving it under, or Rob, sorry. I think that's Rob that just dived it under
Yes,
Spicer
Rob under Cale. 3 wide back there by Tom. They're going to get back down to 2 wide. Everybody single file at the moment.
Oh,
now,
one on the wall.
What do we got in the wall?
Tom in the wall.
Man, Tom is just having a brutal night. Oh, he checked up, and it looked like Sullivan got him ever so slightly and just sent him going. That's a rough one. That's rough. Now Turnip's going to bring it down pit road, so that's going to give Collier the lead back with Spicer and Dennis in second and third. Daniel Dega will be later in the season. I think it's closer to the end of the season, actually, because the way that I do it, I take the 87 schedule, I divide it in half. So Daytona kicks off both sections. So if you look at the schedule from 1987, it's pretty close. I moved a few of the 1.5 miles, so that way we didn't have so many short tracks, just bam, bam, bam. So hopefully, these guys have a little bit more fun. There was actually supposed to be another short track after this, and I think I moved Atlanta into round 4. I think that's how I've got it. So, yeah, we kind of try to mix it up a little bit. And then for like tracks like Riverside, which I don't have, we've used Willow Springs. Next season, I plan on mixing it up even more. We'll put like Nashville Fairgrounds on the schedule. Kind of go to, I would call it more traditional tracks, but maybe stuff that the 87s didn't necessarily go to. Nothing like a twin ring or anything like that, but like maybe we'll throw Kentucky or Nashville Super Speedway or something like that on there. So, but
I don't know. I think twin ring could be fun in these cars.
I'm good. I'm good. I do know that we'll probably put Sonoma in at some point to swap out a road course, but there'll only be one road course this season. Just that it's not super crazy because these things are a handful and a half on a road course if you don't have it set up right. So, and a lot of these guys are oval specific. All right. Probably one more time around before this thing gets green. All right, so the question now becomes, who's got this thing? We got just about 30 laps left. And I think there's a solid 4 contenders right in the top 4. I think anything's possible right now.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I don't get is if you DQ yourself before the start of the race, why does it have to show you on the results? I don't
That's a great
get that.
question.
I don't get that. It's kind of annoying, but all right. Rob Collier going to get this thing started. He's got a solid jump on Cale Spicer. I got Dennis already starting to kind of look for a way around Cale, so hopefully he can go after Rob maybe. We'll see who's got what. I think Cale wasn't showing his hand before, but I think he's going to bring out all the cards at this point. Dennis with a good drive off. Going to try to go after Cale here. We're going to go back to this guy. Show the last lap. Oh, man. Big crash in the back. See what this is about. Oh, it looked like Joe wiggled. Had to try to collect it. Tyler hits the wall a little bit, and Damian knocks the front bumper back off of his Buick again. Doesn't look like Tyler's too beat up, so he should be okay there. Man, 11 cautions so far tonight, and we were doing really good to start this race.
We were.
Oh! What just happened there? Pull the chat on both of them.
I am.
Also, make a note on that lap. That's how I will handle that for now.
Yep.
But all right, we're gonna get this thing re-racked here and get it going. Got on track right now. So we got Rob, Cale, Dennis, Derek, and Eric. Your top 5. That's a mouthful because you got Derek and Eric right together. And then we've got Gary, Justin, Tyler, and Joe and Rick. Your top 10. And top 15 is going to be Scott, Gabriel, Tom, Gooch, and Ron are your top 15. And Damien and JD bringing up the last few.
Do me a favor, check your DMs.
There should be one more to go here before we go green.
I believe you're correct.
We got at least one more because the lights on the pace car are still on. Question is if we get one.
Funny.
Question is if we get one more caution, do you come down for fresh tires and hope for a run at the end? Because now we're getting into weird territory where it's like, okay, you've got 25 left. How much tire do you have left?
Right.
And do you push your ass off thinking, okay, I've got, call it 40 lap old tires, but we've had X number of cautions, or do I say screw it and get a set of freshies and really go after it? All right. Rob's going to put the hammer down. Spicer in tow. Dennis in third. Rob going to dive it to the inside. Maybe use the lappers as a pick here. Cale's going to swing it out wide. Dennis going to follow him, get around the lap car there of Gabriel Griffin. So the top 3 right tight together. Derek Sivers coming behind him. See if he can get around the lap car. He's going to dive it to the inside. Rob Collier going to continue to lead. Run a little bit faster.
There he just spun. Backstretch.
What happened there?
It looks like Gary just... I almost want to say Gary downshifted.
Downshifted instead of upshifted?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it just looked like he got into the gas too hard. But, and this is another thing too, is
yep.
Like before, it threw a caution for that, but when Joe's sideways in the middle of 3 and 4 in front of a bunch of people, it doesn't throw a caution. I
can understand that caution. Because, I mean, technically he's on the racing service down there.
Right, but Joe was in the middle of 3 and 4 sideways. It should have thrown a caution, and I don't understand why it didn't. So, Joe Sullivan going to be your lucky dog that time. And right front on Cale's car, you could tell he's been beating the wall with that thing coming out of 2. Hopefully he's got it fixed enough that it's turning. Either that or it knocked the setup just right to where it's handling like a dream. So... Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're 20 to go. Man, I don't know what I'm thinking here. Because it's like, you go in and put tires on. It puts you at the back. How many people we got on the lead lap at this point? We got, what, 8 people on the lead lap? So, it's a tough call. I don't know. I think I'd stay out because these tires do like a heat cycle. Dig, that's funny. Pace car lights should be going off, I think, this time. Hopefully we can run it green to the end at this point. It looks like lights on the pace car are off. Lappers up the inside. Everybody else to the outside. I think at this point you've got to start maneuvering for that win if you want it.
Yeah.
So if Cale's got anything left in the bank for Rob, now's probably the time to start getting to that point. So.
All right, they're going.
Yep, Rob with a heck of a jump. He's gonna hope that the lap cars become a thing here while they try to go after, or while he tries to pull away. But Spicer, and it looks like Dennis is going to get around on the outside of the 18. They're going to stack up for a second off the 18 of Gabriel Griffin. Cale losing time big to Rob. He's down about 0.6 already. Dennis sitting in third.
Yep, he's sitting third right now.
It's like Derek and Turnip have cleared the 18.
I'll say the 18's doing everything right as a lap car. He's not fighting. He's staying out of the way.
Holding his line. Joe Sullivan looks like he might finally have this car somewhat fixed and beat back into submission here. Looks like he's cutting through traffic pretty good. I get Dennis looking to try to get around Cale. He keeps kind of looking underneath him. Dennis to the bottom. And it looked like Gabriel Griffin got loose coming off of 2. Not sure what happened. Yep, he's just in the gas, and he followed Tyler's line.
Yeah.
So
almost exactly.
Yeah, just loose, and I think there's guys just getting in the gas a little too hard coming off of that corner. especially now that you're getting some good rubber laid down and everything. I think it's making it tough. So
Yeah.
But I don't think we got Joe Sullivan down on pit lane, probably trying to get a little bit more of that damage fixed. He's probably actually. Yeah. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted
Rick
to
Abbott, be your lucky dog.
And then we'll go here. Yeah, Sullivan will
put him back on the lead lap.
It looks like Sullivan's fender's starting to come out finally. So
that's good. That'll make that car a little bit quicker.
Well, that and for a while the right front was pointing to the outside wall. So, yeah. Joe, we've got no bumper for you yet, bud. He asked in chat if his bumper was back on yet. All right. Diesel, I don't think anybody's going to run out of gas at this point. Being that there's 150 laps in the tank in this thing and an official. And looks like the lights are out.
Nope.
Still blinking? Oh yeah, they're still going. And at this point, I think lap cars should be to the back because we're going to go green with 10 to go or less.
Yeah.
So that should take any lap cars out of the equation here. Should give the top 8 a chance to fight for this thing. We'll see if Mechanic Joe's got something for these guys with his wrecked Thunderbird.
Hopefully the top 9 because.
I still show Rick as a lap down. So we get another caution that'll put Rick back on the lead lap, but right now he's on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
So completely single file restart here, so this should I have a feeling at this point we're going to stretch out, and I would not be surprised if we go green to the end at this point, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So
all right, pace car's in. Rob's
going to get the jump. Dennis is going to try to get underneath Spicer.
I don't know if he did. The Spicer's there.
Spicer is loose in 1 and 2. Holy cow, up the track he went. Dennis going to get around him. Derek looking underneath him.
That is not a mistake you'll see very often at Spicer.
I was going to say that's not a normal mistake for Cale. Derek getting in the wall. Cale going to come back underneath him. Turnip right there to pounce if Cale gets loose again. I think he just carried too much speed in.
Yeah.
I think he tried to mail it around the outside and hope that it would stick, and it just didn't. I'm going to take you back up for the battle for the lead here. Dennis is going to be just off of Rob. We'll put the last lap times up. Dennis is a little bit faster than Rob that last time by.
Oh, Dennis is loose.
Oh, no! And he gets dropped by Derek. Let's see what happened. Yeah, Dennis just it just breaks free, and he's trying to catch it, and then bam.
Hmm.
So 6 to go. I'm looking to see. So Dennis doesn't have a rear end, but the rest of the car's there. So I guess we'll see. I think we're going to have a natural green-white checker here.
As I said, there's no green-white checkers, right?
No, there is no green-white checker. It last flag or next flag will most likely end this race. So
I say, besides that rear bumper cover missing, his car's mostly intact there.
yeah, it looks fine. I don't know if Derek's car blew up there. I see he jumped to pits, so I don't know if it wouldn't tow around or what was going on, but so Rick's going to be your lucky dog. That'll put him back on the lead lap. So we got Collier, Spicer, Burns, Freeman, Sullivan, Cap, Dennis Daly, and Rick Evans, your top 8. Derek's still on pit road. And we've got Scott Thompson, Gabriel Griffin, Tyler Nichols, Tom Gom, Joe Gooch round out your top 15 with Ron St. Louis, Damian Conrad, and JD McHaley back to 17th.
I'm pretty sure Derek's car is killed. He towed it immediately.
I thought so too, because it almost looked like it would have been fine. It had just some minor front end damage, really. It looked like it knocked maybe the nose cone off, but I thought he would have been able to continue. But nice thing is, next week we leave, or well, not next week, week after next, we leave the short tracks behind for a week and go do some 1.5 miles. So
I believe we're gonna have a 1-lap shootout here.
yeah, the lights on the pace car are still on. So yeah, they're gonna go green with 1 to go. So it's gonna be a free for all. The question is does Cale try to go to the outside again, or does he try to go up the inside and hopefully make it stick?
I tell you, Sullivan's car looks like Turnip's crayon got a hold of it.
All right, so to answer Diesel's question in the chat, next race will be Atlanta in 2 weeks. Again, it's going to be a half distance race that will be old Atlanta too. So yeah, lights on the pace car are off. So we'll see what happens here. Rob Collier going to bring us to the line for our 1-lap shootout with a big jump. See what Cale tries to do here, if anything.
Dennis coming like bat out of hell.
I was going to say, I seen Dennis coming like a freight train. Oh, he is driving the wheels off it. They're wrecking in the back.
Yep, 18 got wrecked.
Rob Collier going to take the win. Cale Spicer second. Justin Burns third. Gary Freeman's fourth. Joe Sullivan fifth. Dennis Daly, after getting wrecked there, comes back to sixth. Eric Kapp seventh. Rick Evans eighth. Derek Sivers in ninth. Scott Thompson rounds out your top 10. And we got Gabriel Griffin, Tyler Nichols, Tom Gom, Joe Gooch, Ron St. Louis in round up top 15. And Damian Conrad, JD McHaley, your last 2 cars in the field. We'll get up the race results on screen and hide this. All right. Well, all in all, I'd say it was a pretty solid race here. But what do you think, Corn? We ready to interview some people?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and pull Rob on in, and we'll get an interview with our winner.
I
was gonna say you should be able to. Rob, congrats on the win, man.
Thanks, sir.
That was a long one there at the end. You guys ran good and long under green, and I thought it was going to kind of stay that way, and then we just kind of started stacking up the cautions. But looked like you had a pretty good setup out there today.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as the old setup I used to have for this thing, since all the car updates finally broke that. Can't swing the crossweight over at about 45% anymore.
Well, it definitely didn't look as fast as the Daytona one.
It did succeed in lapping the field, though.
It did really good. I know Dennis did a lot of work on his setup, and I was kind of curious to see how you guys would go. And I was kind of shocked to see him spin there with 6 to go, because he hadn't done it all night. So I was waiting to see if that was going to shape up into something. So, but it was a solid run on your part. I mean, pretty flawless. What happened there with the turn in 3 and 4? Were you trying to pit there, or what was kind of going on?
So yeah, I called out the lap prior, and I just overshot my mark, and it's like, well, not pitting this time, so I came around next time, and I just assumed the car behind me, which was there the first time I tried to pit, was going to realize like I'm still going to pit, and yeah, I guess not.
Oops. Well, good run on the first place tonight. Anybody you want to thank?
No, just thanks you guys for putting this together and letting us come out here and potentially test out some winter NIS stuff. You got
it's kind of funny how that wound up working out. Me and Corn were actually talking about the start of before the broadcast started, that this was kind of following how the NIS was going to go, because I wasn't even sure when that was starting up. So, but
yeah, I'm surprised it's starting this week. I was like, oh, didn't even wait a week. Okay.
Kind of wild. I was not expecting it, and I'm headed out of town. So, but yeah, good win, Rob. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Atlanta.
Alrighty, guys. Have a good one.
Yep, you too.
You too.
Alrighty. So let's go ahead and grab Cale Spicer, second place tonight. Cale, good job on the second place. I know you had a little bit of a rough race at the start of it, but then it seemed like it all kind of came together. You were able to get the car fixed and get moving back towards the front.
Hell yeah, it's all coming up Millhouse at the end.
Well, I almost gave you the announcer's hex there, because I had picked either you or Rob as far as the win was going to go, and about as soon as I said it, you popped the wall coming out of 2, and I'm like, oh no, not this. So, but yeah, I would say that's a solid comeback too. But I guess did it get a little tight early in the race, and then you were able to free it up, or?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm doing on these short tracks. The car was both loose and tight. It was just not ideal. But
well, because I know we saw that
there in the end.
Well, we saw the restart before the last. Looked like you kind of sent it on the outside, and me and Corn were even saying that's not characteristic of you for one of these places. So I know I've gotten my ass kicked many a time by you here at a short track. So it was just kind of wild to see it loose on the outside. So I wasn't sure if just sent it in a little too deep or what happened. But.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to duck the interview here, and these guys wouldn't let me interrupt in front.
Oh, that's fair. All right. Well, anybody you want to thank so I can at least get you out of here?
Yeah, hopefully my buddy Greg Welland's gonna tune in at some point. That bastard never showed up.
I was hoping Greg was gonna be here at some point during the season. So I know I seen him. I seen him all week in officials. So if Greg's watching, where you at, bud?
Yeah, he doesn't watch. He lurks. He'll be
He
out
lurks.
there.
All right. Well, good run tonight. Nice recovery, and we'll see you at 2 weeks at Atlanta.
Yes, sir. God bless.
All right. I
Alrighty.
believe that leaves Turnip.
Turnip's our last unsuspecting victim. Turnip, third place. I think that puts you on the box, what, two in a row now?
Yeah. So 2/3 and then 1/4 for the whole series so far. I think
That's
where
not
we're
bad.
sitting.
Not bad.
Oh.
What was with the call of staying out after everybody been out of tires for quite a while there? I know you stayed out, and then the next caution come out, you come in just trying to get a bonus point there, or
So Rob, most of the field took tires around lap 26, right? I didn't go in there, and I was
Okay.
still able to hold with them. So I was
Okay.
hoping that I would just be able to save another set of tires just for the end, just in case I needed them. But, once everybody went in, I just decided to duck down, just even out the tires so that I wasn't too far off pace if we did get that green flag run again.
probably not a bad idea.
It just, that green flag run went in for green flag stops, and it was looking like me and Dennis were going to be leading the pack once Rob went in for his pit stop, Rob and Derek, but it just didn't end up working out that way, and Rob ended up getting punted for his green flag stop.
Yeah, we caught that, and I was kind of wondering how that was all going to play out, and it looks like, I know you got into a couple little accidents there, and I wasn't sure if because if I remember right, you pitted under green during that long run, correct?
Yeah, I did about 20 laps before the caution came out.
Yeah, so I was kind of curious to see how that was going to play, because I know you and Dennis and a couple other guys came in, and I think it wound up actually working out pretty well. I mean, yeah, you don't want to see a caution 20 laps after you pit, but I think it played well to where you guys could stay out. You still had enough tire left. And correct me if I'm wrong, but
I went that first stint on 103 laps. My tires were 78 on both right sides, so that second run would have been well within the tire limits, but it just and I was looking at times and everything, and I would have come out when Rob came out of the pits, I would have been like 6 seconds, and I was hoping by the time he caught up to me that the tires would kind of even out, and then we could have a race from there. But things ended up taking a different turn this race.
Well, you still got a podium out of it, so I'd say that was a solid run. So, anybody you want to thank?
No.
Okay. Well, that was simple. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you at the next one in 2 weeks at Atlanta Turnip.
Yep. See you there.
Good run, bud.
Thanks.
Oh, that's my cue, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, as you can see, we're still new to the broadcasting thing, but all in all, I think it was a pretty good race tonight. We, a few cautions there at the end, some stuff that probably could have went differently, but again, it's short track racing. What are you going to do? Any closing thoughts, Corn?
I don't know that I have any tonight, man. It was a really good race. We had that very surprising. It was almost 80 laps green flag run.
Yeah,
it was a really good race.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed we didn't see another long run again. I would have liked to have seen that, but all in all, I'd say for the most part, it was a fairly decent race. So, but on that note, everybody, we're going to call it here. We will see you guys again in 2 weeks from Atlanta. So we'll have next week off. We'll be out in Atlanta. Actually, I think we'll even have a race during Thanksgiving week because of this falling on a Tuesday. So we should be good from now, at least until Christmas. So we will see you guys again, like I said, 2 weeks from now in Atlanta. Say goodnight, Corn.
Good night, Corn.